Acanto comes with a completely independent transport panel, excepting the tempo, which is always in sync with live. But you can always slave Acanto to live's transport if you so wish. First, let's go over each element of the transport panel one by one. The play stop button does, of course, just that. It starts or stops the sequencer. It can be mapped to keys or MIDI, and it also responds to two discrete MIDI nodes, each with its own function. C#3 works like a toggle type button. Press it once and Acanto starts. Press it a second time and it stops. D#3 plays like a regular musical note. As long as it's pressed, Acanto will play. As soon as you release the note, Acanto is stopped. Right below the play stop button is the sync button. When this button is on, Acanto will be slaved to live. It doesn't matter if you press play inside Acanto or if you do it in live. Acanto will just follow the session. If you happen to press play in Acanto, it will actually tell live to start playing. If you press play in live, Acanto will go into play mode with it, and it will start on whatever the next downbeat is. So, for example, if you start live at the top, Acanto will follow along immediately. And if you set the cursor at the beginning of some other bar, say bar 3 beat 1, then Acanto will again immediately follow. And if you start in the middle of a bar, then Acanto will wait until the next downbeat to start playing. Once Acanto starts, it will play the full pattern of your current preset and continue looping it, no matter what the length is. So if you have a pattern in 5/4, it will soon go out of phase with live's meter. Right below the sync button is the Retrigger button. It will, as the name implies, retrigger the sequence. If Acanto is running in slave mode, the Retrigger button will wait until the next downbeat to retrigger the sequence. If Acanto is not in slave mode, then the actual time when the Retrigger button will take effect will depend on the Play Quantize settings, which is the tab immediately to the left. There are 4 basic settings that you can choose from: free, eighth note, quarter note, or bar. This tab is actually a bit more sophisticated than what it shows at first glance. It behaves differently depending if you are starting a sequence from scratch, retriggering a sequence, which is what we're discussing now, or calling another preset. Let's look at these different instances one by one. In free mode, hitting the play button will immediately start the sequence, no matter where you are in the bar, regardless if live is already running or not. When eighth note is selected, Acanto will quantize the start of your sequence to the next eighth note marking, that is, on any beat or upbeat. When quarter note is selected, Acanto will quantize to the beat. When bar is selected, Acanto will quantize to the downbeat. The difference between this setting and sync mode is that you can start and stop Acanto at your will. Live will continuously play throughout, independently of whether Acanto is actually playing or not. The play quantize settings work the same way when you retrigger a sequence. When calling another preset, because we want to maintain a continuous flow of the sequence itself, in free mode, the new pattern will start as soon as the most recent note is done playing. The other three quantize settings will behave accordingly. If you call another preset, the change will take effect on the next eighth note, quarter note, or bar, respectively. We'll stop here for now. We'll continue with other features in other videos.